Bakersfield.com and the CSUB Roadrunners Digital Network. Live from the Dignity Health Studios in downtown Bakersfield, California.
And welcome into another edition of Roadrunner Rundown. Nothing happened this week, so I guess we'll see you next week. No, I'm just playing. All right. Yeah, we had some stuff. Some stuff happened. And we're going to talk about it on the program. Today on Roadrunner Rundown, Corey Costello here with you. Thanks so much for joining us on the program. Bakersfield.com, GoRunners.com, here at the Dignity Health Studios, downtown Bakersfield, California. Official program, CSUB Roadrunner Athletics. Lots of stuff to get to today. We're going to be speaking and talking a lot about our Athletics Director, Jeff Konya, who made the announcement earlier this week that he will be heading to Oakland University in Rochester, Michigan, in his hometown. And so we're going to be chatting with him on the program coming up on the phone a little bit later, bottom of the hour. He will talk with us about his decision to leave Bakersfield and take on a new challenge. So we'll be speaking with him coming up on the show, his first kind of long-form interview since making the announcement. Also joining us on the program in the next segment, our Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Thomas Wallace, who is, the way the university reporting lines work, overseeing athletics. And so he will be overseeing the search for a new athletics director. So we'll chat with him coming up a little bit later on the program as Dr. Wallace comes in, and we'll talk about what he's looking for in a new athletics director, what he expects out of a new leader for the Roadrunner Athletics program. Also coming up on the program in the final segment of the show today, catching up with a Roadrunner baseball alum, Cael Brockmeyer. We actually talked about it on the program last week. He hit for the cycle in a Cubs game, a Kane County Cougars single A Cubs game, and he was kind of the talk of minor league baseball for about a day or so. So he's going to join us on the program. Matter of fact, I think his squad is traveling to Iowa today. So we'll chat with Cael Brockmeyer on the phone from somewhere in the minor league baseball realm of Iowa as we talk about his feat and his great accomplishment, obviously, in feat of hitting for the cycle, which any baseball player probably dreams of doing, but also the really resurgence he's had lately with the bat. So we'll talk with Cael Brockmeyer, a draft pick last season from the 2013 Bakersfield squad. So we will chat with him coming up at the very end of today's program. So lots of stuff to get to, and first and foremost, a week's announcement that Athletic Director Jeff Konya is resigning to take the same post at Oakland University in Rochester, Michigan. Konya, a Michigan native, gets to return to his home state after 3+ years of work in Bakersfield. Several accomplishments in Konya's file here in Bakersfield, including getting the Roadrunners into the Western Athletic Conference. He changed fundraising models, built the academic support structure for student athletes by hiring a full-time staff as well. He'll remain in his position at CSUB until August 4th. A few coaches and administrators reacted to the news of Konya leaving yesterday.
Well, Jeff has done a fantastic job here, and we are very appreciative of the things that he's done and we've accomplished during his tenure as our Director of Athletics. And once again, taking a new position at a new university, we wish him well as he moves into other endeavors and the things that he wants to accomplish professionally.
I'm happy for him. As it relates to the baseball program, I appreciate everything that he did to support us, and I think he changed the hierarchy of the program in the department. And then, of course, showed confidence in me and trying to talk me out of retiring and bring me back. And a major part of that was his commitment to the program. And so for that, I'm also grateful to him.
He rooted for all of our student athletes as if there was no tomorrow. I mean, whether that was being at the soccer game with the men's or the women, or whether baseball game, or following the men's and women's basketball. And a lot of times you don't find people that will be that into every sport. So he was for our student athletes. He was for Bakersfield, and he was a sports guy that he got into it as a fan every time we were there competing, whether that was on the field or on the court. I think what we all have to do as coaches is come in and support the next person that's the coach, and always keep the student athletes in this university at the forefront of our thoughts, and then allow the next person to do their job. Coaches always are concern, obviously, when there's a change of leadership. But I think any profession would be, whether that's the president of the United States or whether that's the governor of a state or mayor of a city, there's always uncertainty there. But again, I think we've got great leadership. I think Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Wallace will surely get someone in here. And I think as coaches, we've just got to do our jobs and try to improve on what we've already done here.
And those were just some of the few coaches and administrators talking about Jeff Konya, what he's done for the program, and the obviously how kind of where we go from here. And Dr. Wallace, you saw in there, will be joining us coming up in the next program. He's a vice president of student affairs, and we've had him on the show before, but he oversees athletics. So we'll talk to him about the search and what he's looking for in the next director of athletics. And also Jeff Konya will join us at the bottom of the hour on the phone from Michigan, where he's hanging out, getting ready to take his new position. We'll talk about his new job and also reflect on his time in Bakersfield as well. On to some other news on the golf front from the men's golf program. Tristan Stone, he is a future Roadrunner. He signed a national letter of intent to play for Bakersfield next season. Going to participate in the Future Champions Golf World Championships July 21st to the 23rd in La Quinta, California. Riverside native is going to compete against a large pool of golfers from Venezuela, Thailand, Colombia, China, Australia, and several other foreign countries, as well as his fellow North Americans. The incoming CSUB freshman signed his letter to play at CSUB out of Riverside Poly High School. So that young man you see right there is going to be competing for the Roadrunners next year. And before that, he's going to get an opportunity to play in the Future Champions Golf World Championships. So very good get for Greg Osborne and the golf program. All right, it's summertime. And like I said, it's tough to sometimes get new Corey versus material because it's summer and most of our student athletes are gone home for the summer. But, we find ways to maybe bring in the previous versions of Corey versus and have it relate to the show. So it is summertime and people just got off a holiday weekend. They were at the beach, or maybe they're getting ready to do it this weekend, or they have beach plans in their future and they're thinking, I will try beach volleyball. That's what I will do when I go to the beach. I will try beach volleyball. Well, we have a beautiful beach volleyball facility at CSUB now. And so I thought this a few months ago as we were getting ready to open the facility, I'll try beach volleyball. So that's what we did, and let's bring in the Corey Versus. And we're here on Corey Versus. We are with Olivia Simcoe, who is our interim sand volleyball coach now. We're out here in the new complex. This is beautiful, by the way, and we're going to do a couple of drills today. So what exactly are we going to be, I guess, exposing myself to today?
The first one, we're going to work on our control. We're going to work on getting our feet to the pass, squaring up on the set, getting our feet there on the hit, keeping the ball in front of us, and just hitting to you every time. And our setters are going to get their feet there and set you really well. Just watch. And then I'm going to try to hit it over. That'll be the fun of that. And then the second part. The second part, we're going to have you be exposed on one side of the court by yourself, and the girls are just going to serve bomb you. See how many passes you can get out. Yeah, that didn't work out too well last time when I was inside, so we'll give it a shot. I do have a visor on, which looks pretty pro volleyball style, but I got to probably flip it up, right? Right? Do I have to do that? Is that required? That looks great. That's beach volleyball. That's beach volleyball. So, all right, here we go.
First of all, the sand is nice. It's like having a beach in Bakersfield. I'm being partnered up as they rotate through. Let's see how this goes. A couple of awful swings to start things off. Maybe I'm not a hitter per se. Let's change my approach. Well, it turns out I'm not a blocker either. That Fernanda and I record my first kill on a defensive bump. Fernanda then saves my bacon with a nice shot of her own. That's 2 in a row. Sarah Little and I make it 3 straight. I'm getting pretty good at this. And maybe not so much. But then I hit the line on my last one. A great way to end this portion. On to the firing squad. They're just going to pepper me with serves. My technique is pretty good. That's from years on the beach, by the way, albeit drinking beer and building bonfires, but it all counts. Not gonna lie, that one hurt bad. I believe I bounced in slow motion and bruised the rib. No joke. But I'm a gamer and I play through it. The ladies like my effort there, even though it was out.
You got it, Corey! I know, I was scared I was going to hit you.
How about that ugly attempt? I'm still getting dirty, but I'm spent as well. This sand stuff is hard work.
Runners on three.
1, 2, 3, run!
So if you're thinking about going to the beach and playing beach volleyball, let me tell you, it's not as easy as it looks. And that one still hurts just watching. I literally did hurt myself on that Corey versus. But anyway, just in case you're thinking about beach volleyball, think twice before trying that sport on your own. We're going to step away and take a break. When we come back, we're going to speak with Thomas Wallace, our Vice President of Student Affairs, about Jeff Konya's departure and also his expectations for his next Athletics Director. That is coming up next, and Jeff Konya will join us as well, bottom of the hour, on the phone from Michigan. It's coming up next on Roadrunner Rundown.
I'm Lisa Kirsch. Coming up next on Live Well only on Bakersfield.com. We'll preview the upcoming Kid Fest at the Kern County Museum. We will also meet the Bakersfield Life Magazine's 20 under 40 honorees. We'll have a special guest joining us in studio. We'll find out how that person is making a difference in our community. Be sure to join us for Live Well only on Bakersfield.com every Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Save 50 to 90% with the Bakersfield Californians Daily Deal featured on Bakersfield.com. A daily deal is offered each weekday on services from local restaurants, dry cleaners, health and beauty services, retail shops, and local activities for the entire family. The daily deal is 100% local. Find these amazing deals only at dailydeal.bakersfield.com.
The Bakersfield Californian is a great read on the iPad, but did you know that the Bakersfield Californian is available on your Kindle Fire? Or how about Google's Nexus 7, the Nook? You bet. You can also read a full replica of the newspaper on your Android-powered smartphone, on Apple's iPhone, or on your laptop. We have a solution for any device. E-Edition is free for subscribers, or just $7.99 a month. The Bakersfield Californian. We're everywhere and anytime. Subscribe today. Bakersfield.com.
Kern Business Journal contains news and information from local business leaders and organizations. Topics include agriculture, health and medical, energy, real estate, and more. Visit KernBusinessJournal.com to find out how to subscribe or where to pick up a free copy. To inquire about advertising in the bi-monthly Business Journal, call 395-7586. Find us online on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on KernBusinessJournal.com.
The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund creates educational opportunities for over 300 student athletes at CSUB. By becoming a member and donating to the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund, you're not only helping the Roadrunners fund the scholarship needs of our teams, you're investing in the future. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund isn't just developing student athletes. We're developing tomorrow's leaders from lessons learned during competition. For more information, log on to gorunners.com/donate and become a member of the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund.
And we're back on Roadrunner Rundown. Thanks so much for joining us here on Bakersfield.com or GoRunners.com, wherever you are getting the program. And been a busy couple of days, and we've got a lot of stuff still to get to on the show. Jeff Konya is going to join us at bottom of the hour. Also, Cael Brockmeyer is going to join us, a former Roadrunner catcher, now with the Kane County Cougars, a single-A affiliate of the Chicago Cubs. Cael just hit for the cycle. We talked about it on last week's show. He'll join us from somewhere in minor league baseball, Iowa, where his team happens to be playing today. So we'll chat with him coming up at the end of the show. But welcome to the program now. Back to the program now. I think it's his second time on the show. Our Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Thomas Wallace. Dr. Wallace, good to see you. How you been?
I'm great. It's good to be here again.
Well, first, obviously, a lot of talk about Jeff deciding to move on to Oakland. What was kind of your initial feeling when he made that decision to move on from CSUB?
Well, we had some discussions prior to him making that decision, and so we talked about professionally where he wanted to go and what he wanted to accomplish and how he could get there. So we had discussions relevant to that, and it's like I said to him, I want what's best for him. And I think that he felt professionally and also personally that this was the right time for him, and so I'm happy for Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely. And what was it like? I mean, people ask me, what's it like working, for Jeff? Now, what was it like working with him from your level, given a lot of the things he wanted to do in a short time? I mean, is it one of those, like the old adage, you can't control him, you can just contain him? Was that kind of what it was like?
No, actually, it was fun working with Jeff. Jeff is very creative. With that, you get some of the other things that can become a challenge, and that is that he is impulsive.
Yeah.
But very creative. He cares about the students, and for me, always the starting point is if he cares about the students, we can work out the other things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Coach Barnes brought it up in his talk with the media yesterday. Was he saying that he pretty much was at every event? I mean, and you've been around a lot of athletic directors. It is rare that you see an AD at every men's and women's soccer match, every baseball game, men's and women's basketball, wrestling, whatever it may be. He was there to as a fan to cheer on the students.
He was not just a figurehead.
Yeah.
I mean, he came out to support our student athletes in every sport. The good part about it is it didn't matter whether it was a high-profile sport or one of those that would be under the radar. He really, it didn't make a difference to him.
Yeah.
He came out for any sporting event and supported the student athletes. And I think it came to a point where they started looking for him, and they could let him know when he was not there.
Yeah.
So he created something that for him almost became mandatory that
Sure.
that he attend those events because they were looking for him, and that's what you want in an AD, someone who really cares about the student athletes and they're willing to go the extra mile. I don't know when he ever had a chance to sleep, given all the other things that he had going on,
Right.
but he was certainly dedicated to our student athletes.
Funny thing is, I think the first year he was here, we were playing UNLV in men's soccer, and he was walking from the fan side of the soccer field to the bench side, and he was walking behind the bench, and he had a tendency sometimes to get on officials. Well, he started yelling at one of the referees, one of the linesmen, and the UNLV coach thought he was yelling at his goalie. So he turns around and he's yelling at us, the scores table, "Who is that guy? Who's that guy?" And we said, "Well, that's our athletic director." And then he said, "Man, I just want my AD to come to one of my games." I mean, he didn't even care. He was yelling at that point. He just said, "Wow, I just would like to see my AD come to one of our games." So definitely interesting that he was at all that stuff. You know, you arrived after Jeff, but you knew the expectations that were kind of put on him when he got this job. Were you happy with his performance meeting a lot of those expectations?
Yes. With the transition to Division I, there are always challenges, regardless of the program, regardless of the institution. I mean, when you look at what's going on in college athletics today, there are transitions taking place, conference switchovers. There's so much going on now relevant to that. And yes, we did know the challenges, but for Jeff, he would take the time to put in the work that was required, and he had an understanding of what Division I athletics should look like. And working with him to get us where we are today, it was a lot of fun. Even the challenges we saw as opportunities, and so yes, he was very good to work with.
Let's talk personnel. I mean, Jeff made some really great hires over the years when he was here, but several key hires late: volleyball, men's, women's soccer, etc. He seemed to get really extraordinary candidates for those positions. Are you happy with the shape that he's leaving the athletic department in, coaches and personnel-wise, given there were a lot of hires made just recently?
He did a fantastic job of recruiting individuals that were a great fit for CSUB. Not just that they were good coaches. And we were looking for individuals that were good people, that had some understanding of what winning was about, but also were committed to our student athletes. And Jeff understood that. So he did a very good job of recruiting personnel that could come in and fit the system of what we were trying to accomplish as a university. He never lost sight of the mission of the university.
Yeah, and what sort of expectations are going to be put on the next director of athletics at CSUB? What things are you're going to be looking for?
Well, the things that I just described that we expected of Jeff. I mean, we will expect the same things of the incoming AD. And so the good part is, as you know, Rudy did a good job in Division II in the transition to Division I. Jeff came in, took what Rudy had done, enhanced that, and so we will expect the incoming AD to come in, look at the framework of what's been done, and how do we move it forward to become even better. So it's always about doing it better than what we were doing.
Now, what kind of makes this job an attractive destination for a candidate? As someone who's going to be trying to attract people, what kind of makes this job an attractive destination?
There are a number of things. I think one would be the quality of the personnel, looking at the staff, looking at the coaches that we have assembled. I think the location, being in California and Bakersfield, you don't have to worry about the cold, and there are some who are currently in situations, as I was in Nebraska, a wonderful situation in Nebraska, but it was cold.
In the summer.
and so I think California is attractive. We are now at a point where the economy in California is becoming stable. All of those things, along with the administration, the faculty, and our student body, it's hard not to fall in love with our students.
Yeah.
I mean, our students are just fantastic. And when you come, you see that they're committed to the university. They want to do better for themselves. They like the quality of life, and it is improving. When you look at Time Magazine picking CSUB as the 39th best university in the country, based on affordability and availability, that becomes very important. We didn't give that designation to ourselves. This is Time Magazine, who used the criteria to pick those universities, and within the CSU, there were only 6 universities within the CSU that were selected of the 23. And I think when you look at where we are and the direction that we're going, who wouldn't be excited about coming to Cal State University, Bakersfield?
You know, and you kind of oversee athletics, obviously, and also from the student affairs perspective and the aspect. What would you like to see accomplished in the next few years by the next regime or whatever you want to call it?
I think we have to take a look at our facilities, and we're improving those. And I think we've got to continue where we're going with that. I think we do not jeopardize on the quality of the personnel, because we're now at a point where this is a destination for many. They want to come here. What you find with the people here, those that are here are not here because they have to be here. They're here because they've chosen to be here, which says a lot about the university. So we want those individuals that are committed to the university and the mission of the university, understanding that we are all here to support the academic mission of the institution. And looking at the co-curricular activities that go with that, we want to enhance that. We want our students to have a quality experience when they come to CSUB and to say, this is my university. Not CSUB, but my university. We want them to be possessive. We want them to be proud. We see that coming. I mean, when you look at the WAC tournament this year, and you saw our students who were there in force, and the community support that we got, I think we're building something that's really special. It's hard to refrain from being enthusiastic about what's happening, because we're at a point where so many good things are going on that how can you not get excited about the direction that we're going? Yeah,
everyone always tells me when they say, yo, you work at CSUB, every time I drive by, you're building something else. I'm like, well, we got the land to do it, so we might as well. And that's a good, I think the community sees that as well. They drive around campus, they see construction, they see stuff happening, and that's obviously lets them know that we're, taking the next step.
It is, Corey, and I think some of the same reasons that you chose to come here, that I chose to come here, that others are choosing to come here, these things are becoming evident now. We're no longer a secret. People know. And I'm filling 2 positions, director's positions, within my unit now. And when I meet with those candidates and I ask the question, why CSUB? Some of the same things that I just mentioned to you are the things that they're saying. So people know where we are, what we're doing, and they want to be a part of something positive. They want to be a part of something good. And we're doing those things. And when you see it all come together, it's exciting.
Absolutely. Now, I know you wanted it for the athletic director, looking for a national search. This show, I have a big national following. I'm not lying. I mean, there are dozens of people out there that nationally will see this program. I mean, I'm talking dozens. So we figured we might as well advertise what we're looking for. So right there on the screen, we got our advertisement for the athletic AD job. There you go. Help wanted. So just letting you know, the dozens of people nationally that follow me are going to see that.
Well, Corey, I would be disappointed if you didn't have something like that.
Yes.
You'd
be surprised if I had more, actually.
I would. But, I used to say you would surprise me with things, but you don't surprise me anymore.
No, you can't.
No, it's just the guy you are, and I appreciate that.
I mean, this is like probably the only interview you're going to have all day where there's a luchador mask staring at you from behind. I mean, I don't know what the heck's going to happen next either. So welcome to my life. Dr. Wallace, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck and like you said, you got 2 major positions to fill. And by the way, good luck on the SRC director. I'm on that committee. You got some great candidates to work with. So we're going to have a tough call on that, but I think we got really good people there. So
we want it to be a tough call.
Yeah, exactly. So Dr. Wallace, we will stay informed with what's going on, and we'll chat with you again soon.
Thank you, Corey.
All right, when we come back, folks, stick around. Jeff Konya will join us on the phone from Michigan. Back after this on Roadrunner Rundown.
I'm Lisa Kirsch. Coming up next on Live Well, only on Bakersfield.com, we'll preview the upcoming Kid Fest at the Kern County Museum. We will also meet the Bakersfield Life magazine's 20 under 40 honorees. We'll have a special guest joining us in studio. We'll find out how that person is making a difference in our community. Be sure to join us for Live Well, only on Bakersfield.com every Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Save 50 to 90% with the Bakersfield Californians Daily Deal featured on Bakersfield.com. A daily deal is offered each weekday on services from local restaurants, dry cleaners, health and beauty services, retail shops, and local activities for the entire family. The daily deal is 100% local. Find these amazing deals only at dailydeal.bakersfield.com.
The Bakersfield Californian is a great read on the iPad, but did you know that the Bakersfield Californian is available on your Kindle Fire? Or how about Google's Nexus 7, the Nook? You bet. You can also read a full replica of the newspaper on your Android-powered smartphone, on Apple's iPhone, or on your laptop. We have a solution for any device. E-Edition is free for subscribers, or just $7.99 a month. The Bakersfield Californian. We're everywhere and anytime. Subscribe today. Bakersfield.com.
Kern Business Journal contains news and information from local business leaders and organizations. Topics include agriculture, health and medical, energy, real estate, and more. Visit KernBusinessJournal.com to find out how to subscribe or where to pick up a free copy. To inquire about advertising in the bi-monthly Business Journal, call 395-7586. Find us online on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on KernBusinessJournal.com.
The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund creates educational opportunities for over 300 student athletes at CSUB. By becoming a member and donating to the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund, you're not only helping the Roadrunners fund the scholarship needs of our teams, you're investing in the future. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund isn't just developing student athletes. We're developing tomorrow's leaders from lessons learned during competition. For more information, log on to gorunners.com/donate and become a member of the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund.
Welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown. Corey Costello back here with you. Thanks so much for joining us on GoRunners.com, Bakersfield.com, or wherever you are getting our fine program. My thanks to Dr. Thomas Wallace for joining us in the last segment, talking about the athletic director position and search. And speaking of which, I want to welcome to the program now, and honestly, just congratulate him for the announcement yesterday. Our athletic director, Jeff Konya, who'll be here until August 4th, and now, of course, announced as the new AD at Oakland University. Jeff, thanks so much for joining us, and congratulations. There's not a lot of these jobs out there, and you currently are going to be holding about 2 of them, so congrats on that. I think we might have lost him. Maybe we lost Jeff. Let's we'll reconnect with Jeff. Anyway, as I mentioned yesterday, he made the announcement, and obviously it's home. It's very close to where he's, where he's from, which is Royal Oak, Michigan, very near the Rochester area where the University of Oakland is located. So definitely something that popped in his mind as a attractive destination. And of course, he wrote a letter to Roadrunner fans that is online at GoRunners.com, and just kind of talked about the bittersweet nature of this as far as leaving Bakersfield and going to a place that is that is home. So he's one of those things that definitely was factored in to this decision to head to Oakland University. So I think we have him. Back. Jeff, welcome back to the program. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Corey. How are you doing?
Good. I see the cell phone reception in Michigan. It still has issues.
Here, you're right.
Hey, first of all, as I was saying, congratulations. There's not a lot of these jobs out there, and to get pick up your second job as a Division I athletics director. I mean, that's something to be very proud of. So I know that kind of gets lost in the moment, but congratulations on yesterday's announcement for sure.
I appreciate that. There aren't that many. There's like 350 of them, but I'm fortunate to have been at a great place and going to another one.
You know, just talking as we were trying to get you on the line about, you wrote a letter to the fans the other day. It's on our website, GoRunners.com, talking about the bittersweet nature of this. I mean, what were the emotions like for you when you had an opportunity to take a job at a place that you kind of call home, but then you had to leave a place that you've kind of called home for the last 3.5 years?
Well, yeah, I couldn't have said it any better myself. It is kind of one of those situations where you look at a place in Bakersfield where we did a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, yourself included, and the staff and the coaches and the athletes. And, you know, I think we've really elevated the status of that program. And, you know, I really think that the program is well positioned now, and you're going to see the fruits of that labor. And, you know, part of me wants to be there to be able to see all pieces come together. And but at the same time, an opportunity like this that I perceive could really be a top 10 athletic department in its classification based off of you know, a couple critical athletic criteria, the Horizon League and the athletic facilities and the commitment that the institution's shown, and then you couple that with being in Detroit, and you know, where obviously I was born and I have a lot of connections with this part of the country. So, yeah, it really was kind of a double-edged sword.
You know, we were joking earlier that you happened to set a record in Bakersfield as far as staying a long time, given the way you've tried to advance in your career. Do you see a place like Oakland, though, because it is home, as you say, a place where you could really spend a lot of time?
I do. I really think that you know, a lot of my career path was to become a Division I athletic director. That was my end goal and my objective in starting out in this business. And so, you know, the places I've been and the things I've done have been kind of working up that ladder to be in a position to be a Division I athletic director. And but now that, you know, I was at Bakersfield and in a great situation, you know, you have the opportunity to be selective. And, you know, certainly now that I was called the pinnacle of my career, I'm not inclined to just kind of move around for the sake of moving around. And that, you know, I really anticipated being at Bakersfield a while longer as well. It's just, you know, when these opportunities come before you, you have to evaluate them. And, you know, in this evaluation, being home and what I perceive to be the strengths of Oakland are the reasons why I made the move.
And, you know, you also are going to be getting probably a lot of phone calls from administrators when they, you know, when this position opens up here in Bakersfield. People are going to ask you, you know, give me your thoughts. What are going to be some of the selling points for you to a potential AD that wants to come to Bakersfield, someone who just left here, and for someone that might be interested in this position? What will be your kind of, you know, attraction points for them?
Well, I think there's a lot of support both in the community, on campus, for what we've been doing athletically. I think it's a place that embraces innovation. I think that there's a lot of things you can do from a media perspective. I think there's a growing student culture on campus, especially with the new housing, that you can tap into and kind of create a unique game presentation built around those perspectives. There's a strong sense of community and community service that I think is a true asset. And I do think that the student athletes are some of the best student athletes I've ever been around, that they relish the opportunity to be at CSUB, and they enjoy their academics that they receive formally, and they also receive the athletics Division I and in the Western Athletic Conference now to compete for championships.
You know, a lot of the coaches and even administrators that talked about your departure yesterday with the media talked about you as a fan. You went to almost every game for every sport, and actually Dr. Wallace and I were just talking about it. It got to the point where students expect you to be there. Student athletes expect you to be there, and if you weren't, they were giving you a hard time about it. Is that something that you gonna try to continue in Oakland just because you are a fan? And is that something that is the norm for Division I athletic directors? Because from what I've seen, it's kind of not. So is Oakland gonna obviously be going, wow, our AD is at every game now?
Well, yeah, it's something that that's in my DNA. I like having personal relationships with the athletes and the coaches and the staff, and to get to a first name basis and to have relationships that are meaningful. I think you need to show support, and certainly in the field of competition is one one real formal way to show support. And, you know, I appreciate what the student athletes do and their commitment to the respective university. And, I mean, I like to support all employees, and I like to support the student athletes as much as I possibly can. So I would think that Oakland would see the same similar kind of treatment, because I'm not going to change who I am. And what's a driver for me in terms of getting enjoyment out of this line of work, and that's the relationships with the athletes and the coaches and the staff and the upper administration.
You know, one of the television stations yesterday ran on their website an entire list of things that have been accomplished since your job began in November of 2010 until present day. Have you got a chance to kind of reminisce on that and think back on that entire list and things that have been accomplished in 3.5 years, and just kind of think, wow, I mean, there was a lot done in Bakersfield?
You know, I haven't had that time for reflection. I think, Bakersfield, we were in a grind mode, and we were trying to get a lot of output each and every day. I think, now that I'm kind of in between and in that swan song, and yet at Bakersfield, but also in anticipation mode at Oakland, I think I will give, proper perspective to what we were able to accomplish. And I totally appreciate those comments, those sentiments that were put out there, and we did a lot, but it's not me. I really give credit to the coaches and staff and student athletes and the community itself. I mean, without everybody buying in, without everybody putting forth their good faith and good effort, I'm not sure if we would have been able to achieve, those things that ended up on that list.
This next question has nothing to do really with athletics, but I know you are a big restaurant guy. Every time I travel somewhere, you have a suggestion. We chatted last night. You were going to have dinner at a fine restaurant in Detroit. In Bakersfield, what are you going? Bakersfield's a great food town. What are you going to miss about what restaurant are you going to miss about Bakersfield? And you'll tell other people to go there when they come back here.
Well, I think the lunch at Luigi's is certainly something that you have to do when you're in Bakersfield. I think Eurekaio's has some of the best dinner. If I, going to have a business dinner, that's a place I would be fond of. I think in terms of Mexican food places, there's an abundance of those. My personal favorite is probably Agave on Oak Street. But yeah, no, you're kind of talking right in my wheelhouse, which is obviously food. So
well, and then you just gave me 3 suggestions of places you can take me to dinner before you leave. So that sounds good. Thanks for the list.
Yeah. There's also McDonald's, which is good for you. Kind of a pull or on suggestion for a customer.
Right, exactly. Well, Jeff, congratulations again. Very cool. I mean, like we said, there's not many of these out there, and you've now landed your second one. So congratulations. Good luck in Oakland. We'll definitely be in touch, and you're still going to be doing here some work in the next few weeks. So we'll update folks on how things are going as well. So congrats and safe travels back to Bakersfield.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Corey.
All right, Jeff Konya joining us here on a Roadrunner Rundown, and again, effective August 4th, he'll take over actually August 11th at Oakland University in Rochester, Michigan. When we get back, Cael Brockmeyer joins us. He is a former Roadrunner baseball player. He is playing for the Kane County Cougars in the Cubs organization, and he's somewhere in minor league baseball, Iowa today, getting ready for a game. And we're going to chat with him when we come back next. This is Roadrunner Rundown.
Hey everybody, I'm Louis Amestoy, the host of the Baco Motorsports Power Hour here on Bakersfield.com. You can watch us live every Tuesday at 11 o'clock as we talk about things going on at Auto Club Formosa Raceway, at Kern County Raceway Park, and of course the historic Bakersfield Speedway. We'll have results, we'll have interviews with drivers, we'll have updates on Kevin Harvick and Casey Mears on NASCAR. Also talk about NHRA, IndyCar, Formula One. Also be joined by Mike Griffith in studio every day.
Introducing TBC Mobile from the Bakersfield, California. The most complete news, sports, weather, video, opinion, and lifestyle coverage in Bakersfield and Kern County. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on all things local while on the go. Read it on your smartphone or tablet. Download now by searching Bakersfield Californian in the Apple, Google, and Amazon app stores.
Save 50 to 90% with the Bakersfield Californians Daily Deal featured on Bakersfield.com. A daily deal is offered each weekday on services from local restaurants, dry cleaners, health and beauty services, retail shops, and local activities for the entire family. The daily deal is 100% local. Find these amazing deals only at dailydeal.bakersfield.com.
The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund creates educational opportunities for over 300 student athletes at CSUB. By becoming a member and donating to the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund, you're not only helping the Roadrunners fund the scholarship needs of our teams, you're investing in the future. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund isn't just developing student athletes. We're developing tomorrow's leaders from lessons learned during competition. For more information, log on to gorunners.com/donate and become a member of the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund.
And welcome back into Roadrunner Rundown. My thanks to Dr. Thomas Wallace for joining us earlier, along with Jeff Konya as well. And also, as we continue to roll on to the program, another guest is going to join us on the phone here. He is a former Roadrunners catcher and first baseman, and now he is in the Chicago Cubs organization playing for the Kane County Cougars. And today he is somewhere in Iowa getting ready for yet another minor league baseball game. And big accomplishment about a week ago, hitting for the Cycle. I want to welcome to the program now Cael Brockmeyer. Cael, good to talk to you again. How you been?
You too, Corey. It's good to hear from you. I'm doing well.
Well, first, hey, congratulations on that cycle the other week. I mean, that as a baseball player, you know, pitchers always want a perfect game or a no-hitter. I guess as a hitter, getting the cycle is, I guess, the closest thing to immortality, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a pretty exciting game and definitely the first cycle I can ever remember hitting in my entire career, even all the way up through little leagues and growing up. So it was definitely a pretty cool accomplishment and definitely one I'll always remember having to do in pro ball especially.
Yeah, it was all over minor league baseball's website and stuff as well. And when did you know, I guess with like pitchers, when they talk about throwing no-hitters, it maybe dawns on them about the sixth inning or something that they're on to something special. Like as a hitter, when do you start thinking cycle? I mean, do you think it after your first extra base hit? When does that kind of come into your mind?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I wasn't even really thinking about it at all until I forget, it was probably about the fifth or sixth inning. I hit a single and I got to first base, and my first base coach was taking all my protective gear, and he kind of looks at me and goes, "Hey, now all you need is a triple for a cycle." And we both kind of laughed at each other because, you know, the triple is always the hardest one to get. And me, of course, being kind of a bigger guy, not known as a speedster, we just kind of laughed it off. And so then going into my last at-bat, I knew it was like the 8th or 9th inning, and we were playing a day game, and it was really hot where we were at, and I was just, main thing in my head was I didn't want to go extra innings, so I just wanted to get that runner in. And then I remember I hit a pretty good deep fly ball, and then saw the fence we were playing at was like an old wooden fence, so when it hit the fence, it bounced back real hard, and I saw that, and I was about 3 or 4 steps away from second, and I saw both the runners scoring, so I just figured, why not? Might as well go for it.
Yeah, there was no base coach at that point. You were going for third, and I mean, and it was obviously double special because not only did you get the cycle, but that hit ended up winning the game for your squad as well.
Yeah, exactly. It was nice to be able to get that hit to get those runs in and win the game for the team. And because I know where we were at, we had some struggles earlier on in the season with this team, so to finally get that sweep on that series, it definitely even made the moment more special.
Cael Brockmeyer joining us on Roadrunner Rundown. Lately you seem like you've been hitting the ball pretty well, not just at the day you had the cycle, but things have kind of turned around for you offensively. What's sort of been the difference here in the last few weeks?
Just changing approach a little bit differently, kind of changing where my hands have been in the slot, and just doing a lot of extra early work, getting there early, and working on things with the hitting coaches really gotten me in kind of a groove right now. And definitely, they talk about you get in those grooves where the ball just seems to seem bigger to you coming into the zone, and it definitely feels like I'm in one of those grooves right now.
And, what's been the biggest transition for you? I mean, this is your first full season. You did spend a good, obviously last year playing both college and pro baseball, but your first, full season as a pro. What's kind of the transition been like from the college level to the professional level?
I mean, it's everything like they say. It definitely is, kind of gets going to be a grind later on in the season, but at the same time, it kind of flies by. I mean, I can't even believe it's already been July and we've been here for a number of months. I mean, it's just fun every day getting able to wake up and come to the park and play, and not have to really worry about anything else other than just going out there and having fun. But definitely, the travels and kind of get on a different schedule in pro ball. You kind of stay up later and get up later just because we're always out playing. But it's definitely been a fun ride so far.
And, you had an interesting rookie year. I mean, you're playing in Boise. Next thing you know, they needed a catcher at AAA, and up you went. And you got to spend a little time with the Iowa Cubs, which is a tremendous AAA organization. What was that like? And obviously, how much more did that motivate you to get back to that level?
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a great experience, just going up there and being able to see guys that I'd seen on TV before and just kind of pick their brains, but also be able to go up there and see that, they're not that much more at an advanced level than you. They're just more experienced, and that once you realize, you can play with them and you can get there, it definitely gives you that much more drive and fire to want to work hard to get back there.
What was it like to? I mean, I know they say AAA is just the only difference between what AAA and Major League Baseball is the food they serve in the clubhouse. I mean, what was the full-on experience like though? Was it as professional as you expected it to be?
Yeah, it was. I actually got some funny stories. I mean, I remember that first game I went and played, and I came back, and I'd gone into the showers, and I came back, and my cleats were gone. And here I was thinking, oh, great, here I am, the new rookie on the team. Someone took my cleats, and they're hiding them or put shaving cream in them or something. And then I come to find out that the equipment guy had taken them, and he was cleaning them for me. And he brought them back, and they were all cleaned and ready to go. And it's like the scene in Bull Durham. They carry your bags everywhere for you off the bus, from the plane to the ballpark. It's definitely like in the movies. It's you get more chauffeured around and definitely get more coddled, and it's pretty cool.
And you get to, you said planes. You get to actually fly places as opposed to going 9 to 10 hours on a bus, right?
Yeah, you get to fly everywhere, and it's definitely these bus rides can get pretty long sometimes, so I'm sure the flights are a lot nicer.
Absolutely. Cael Brockmeyer joining us here on Roadrunner Rundown. Kind of right in getting towards the middle of the summer with your squad. Talk about your team a little bit, where you guys are at, and what you're looking to kind of accomplish as you get closer to the end of the season.
Yeah, we actually have a real solid team this year. We won the Midwest League first half, so we got to clinch that and already have a playoff spot. And that was definitely fun to celebrate that in the locker room when it happened, spraying bottles everywhere, and getting to experience kind of one of those clubhouse celebrations you always hear about was pretty fun. And then now we're still going into it, still in first place. I think right now we're one of the first teams in minor league baseball to reach 50 wins. So it's definitely got a special group of guys that's going solid right now, and I have a feeling it could be a special season.
There's been a lot of talk about the Cubs organization lately, just because of trades they made at the major league level. But the reports are that there's a lot of great prospects in the Cubs minor league system. Are you seeing that on a regular basis? The guys you're coming across.
Yeah, I definitely think the new group of guys that came in to run the whole organization definitely have brought a new mindset and attitude overall, and everyone's kind of buying in. And you definitely got a good group of guys, not only that can play well together, but are really good at meshing well together, and kind of throwing that whole pro ball adage where everyone's kind of fighting for yourself still, but at the same time, we still can get together as a team and root for each other on and wish for the best for everyone else.
Well, sounds great, and glad that it's working out well for you right now, Cael Brockmeyer. Thanks so much for joining us. Good luck tonight. I know you're somewhere in Iowa, and safe travels, and we'll be keeping tabs on in the summer. We'll check in again.
Sounds good, Corey. Thanks for the call.
Right.
Appreciate it.
All right, good to hear from you. Cael Brockmeyer here on Roadrunner Rundown as he finishes out or continues his season, and they got the first half done there in their single A season and getting ready for or playing the second half right now. But they got one playoff spot already in the bag. So Cael, and yeah, he got some chance at AAA as a rookie last year. So kind of seen the whole gamut of the Cubs organization thus far. All right, folks, we got to get out of here. Thanks so much for joining us today. Get the show anytime online at GoRunners.com and get previous editions of the program as well, and of course archived editions of the show. Also, you can follow us on Facebook as well, facebook.com/CSUB Roadrunners. Also on Twitter and Instagram at CSUB Athletics. Plenty more to get to on next week's show. Don't forget to join us. By the way, in 2 weeks we're going to be celebrating our 1 year, just shy of our 1 year, but it'll be a 1 year best of Roadrunner Rundown in a couple weeks here coming up on the program. So stay tuned. I'm going to be on vacation, so I'm going to make sure that you're taken care of very well. We're gonna get out of here, folks. Thanks so much for joining us. This has been Roadrunner Rundown.